Captain Ortega's voice crackled over the comms system. All hands, this is the captain. We've got multiple hostiles closing in. Prepare for battle. The sleek, silver hull of the HMS Defiance shuddered as laser blasts raked across its defenses. Commander Sarah Jenkins gritted her teeth, her eyes locked on the tactical display. Captain, we've got a swarm of Kraylian fighters incoming, she called out. Point defense systems online, Ortega replied. Gunnery, target their command ship. The Defiance shuddered again, but this time it was the recoil from the ship's primary cannons. Direct hit? Jenkins exclaimed. Command ships taking damage. A missile barrage from the Kraylian cruisers slammed into the Defiance, rocking the ship violently. Hang in there, people. Ortega shouted. We're not going down without a fight. The bridge lights flickered, and smoke filled the air, but the crew's determination never wavered. Captain, incoming transmission from the Kraylian flagship, Jenkins announced. Ortega's face twisted into a snarl. Put it through. A cold, alien voice spoke, human warship, surrender and... Ortega cut the transmission. Tell them our answer. Jenkins grinned. Already sent, Captain. GFY, in Morse code. The Defiance burst through the Kraylian formation, guns blazing, and emerged on the other side, battered but unbroken. As the dust settled, Ortega turned to Jenkins. You know, Commander, sometimes it's not about the tech or the tactics. It's about attitude. Jenkins smiled. That's the human way, Captain. Hope you enjoyed this short HFY story. Sit tight, human warship incoming. Prologue. The stars twinkled like diamonds against the blackness of space, a reminder of humanity's infinitesimal place in the universe. Yet, amidst this vast expanse, humanity persevered, fueled by an unyielding spirit. Battle stations. Captain Ortega's voice echoed through the HMS Defiance's comms system. All hands, this is the captain. We've got multiple hostiles closing in. Prepare for battle. Commander Sarah Jenkins' eyes snapped to the tactical display as she strode onto the bridge. Report, Captain. Kraylian fleet, approximately 30 ships, bearing 278 Mark 12, Ortega replied, his voice firm. Jenkins' gaze locked onto the holographic display projecting the battlefield. We're outnumbered, but the Defiance has taken worse odds. Agreed, Ortega said. Gunnery, target their command ship. Point defense systems, prioritize the fighters. The Defiance shuddered as laser blasts raked across its defenses. Captain, we've got a swarm of Kraylian fighters incoming. Jenkins called out. Focus on the command ship, Ortega ordered. We need to cripple their coordination. The Kraylian onslaught. The Kraylian cruisers unleashed a barrage of missiles, slamming into the Defiance's shields. The ship recoiled, but its armor held. Hang in there, people. Ortega shouted. We're not going down without a fight. Jenkins monitored the ship's systems, her mind racing. Captain, our portside shields are weakening. Rotate shield frequencies, Ortega ordered. Compensate with starboard. The Defiance's cannons blazed, striking true against the Kraylian command ship. Direct hit? Jenkins exclaimed. A transmission from the Kraylian flagship crackled through the comms. Human warship, surrender and... Ortega cut the transmission. Tell them our answer. Jenkins grinned. Already sent, Captain. GFY, in Morse code. Turning the tide. The Defiance burst through the Kraylian formation, guns blazing. Captain, we've got a window, Jenkins said. Their command ship's crippled. Ortega's eyes narrowed. Take us through. Prepare boarding parties. The Defiance pierced the enemy's heart, its crew fueled by determination. Boarding parties, go. Ortega shouted. Marines stormed the Kraylian command ship, securing key systems. Captain, their flagship is ours, Jenkins reported. Ortega turned to Jenkins. You know, Commander, sometimes it's not about tech or tactics. It's about attitude. Jenkins smiled. That's the human way, Captain. Epilogue. The stars shone brighter, a testament to humanity's unyielding spirit. Aftermath. The Kralin fleet retreated, their commander slain. The Defiance limped back to Earth, battered but triumphant. Captain, we've received transmission from HQ, Jenkins announced. Ortega's eyes lit up. Put it through. Admiral Patel's face appeared on screen. Captain Ortega, congratulations on your victory. Your bravery has earned humanity a crucial ally. The Kralin's neighbors, the Zorvath, have offered an alliance against the Kralin Empire, Patel explained. Ortega smiled. The tide's turning, Admiral. The Zorvath alliance. The Defiance, now repaired, led a joint human Zorvath fleet into Kralin space. Captain, we're approaching the Kralin homeworld, Jenkins reported. Ortega's jaw clenched. Time to end this. The combined fleet unleashed a devastating assault. Kralin defenses crumbled. Captain, their emperor wishes to surrender, Jenkins said. Ortega's eyes narrowed. Terms? Unconditional, Jenkins replied. The Kralin Empire fell. Reckoning. Earth celebrated. Ortega, hailed as a hero, stood before the United Nations. We stand here today because of humanity's resilience, Ortega declared. Jenkins smiled, watching from the crowd. Epilogue. The stars shone brighter, humanity's future secured. Reconstruction. The Kralin Empire's collapse left a power vacuum. Ortega, now Admiral Ortega, chaired the Reconstruction Committee. Our goal is to establish a stable, democratic government, Ortega explained to the committee. Jenkins, promoted to captain, commanded the HMS Liberty, tasked with securing Kralin space. Insurrection. A rogue Kralin faction, the Blood Guard, vowed to restore the Empire. Captain Jenkins, we've detected Blood Guard activity, Liberty's tactical officer reported. Jenkins' eyes narrowed. Hunt them down. The Liberty pursued the Blood Guard through treacherous asteroid fields. Betrayal. A trusted Zorvath ally, Lord Arcturus, secretly funded the Blood Guard. Admiral Ortega, we've uncovered Arcturus' treachery, Jenkins warned. Ortega's face darkened. Bring him to justice. The HMS Liberty and Zorvath ships captured Arcturus. New horizon. With the Blood Guard defeated and Arcturus tried, the Reconstruction Committee established the Galactic Union. Ortega became its first president. Today, we forge a new future, Ortega declared. Jenkins smiled, knowing humanity's resilience had created a better galaxy. Epilogue. The stars shone brighter, humanity's spirit unbroken. Sit tight, human warship incoming. The stars stretched across the void, an eternal and indifferent audience to the battles waged by the fragile creatures below them. For centuries, humanity had crawled out of its cradle, touching the stars, uniting for survival against enemies far greater than any they'd faced on Earth. And now, they stood on the brink of annihilation, once again. Prologue, the calm before. Captain Ortega stared out the viewing port of the HMS Defiance, his jaw set and his fists clenched behind his back. The Kralin fleet, a mass of shimmering black ships, was advancing with ruthless efficiency. Ortega had seen them in action before. The Kralin didn't negotiate, they didn't take prisoners. They conquered, absorbed, and erased entire civilizations without hesitation. He would be damned if Earth was next. Captain, Commander Sarah Jenkins' voice called from the bridge. Hostiles detected. 30 ships. No sign of reinforcements. Ortega closed his eyes for a moment, taking a deep breath, steeling himself. They had prepared for this. He turned back toward the bridge and strode in. All hands, this is the captain. We've got multiple hostiles closing in. Prepare for battle. Chapter 1, Battle Stations. The sleek silver hull of the Defiance was built for endurance, not speed. It was the strongest ship in humanity's fleet, but even strength had its limits. The Defiance shuddered as the first laser blasts from the Kralin fighters hit its shields. Commander Jenkins was already at her post, eyes locked on the tactical display. The holographic battlefield projected in front of her flickered with incoming data. "Captain, they're targeting our engines," Jenkins reported, her voice calm despite the tremor in the ship. Ortega nodded. "Point defense systems online. Gunnery, target their command ship. We need to take out their leader." "Yes, sir," Jenkins replied. Her fingers danced across her console as she rerouted power to the shields, adjusting the ship's position to give their gunners a clearer shot. The Kralin fighters swarmed, like locusts blotting out the stars. Laser fire raked the Defiance, but the human warship's reinforced armor held. The crew, veterans of countless engagements, moved in perfect harmony. Ortega's eyes narrowed. "Commander, focus fire on their central fleet. We need to break through." "Aye, Captain," Jenkins responded, diverting power to the main cannons. The ship shook violently as the main cannons fired, sending a massive pulse of energy straight into the heart of the Kralin command ship. The display lit up with explosions. Chapter 2, The Kralin Onslaught. Direct hit. Jenkins shouted over the din, "Their command ship is losing power, but we've got more inbound." Before Ortega could respond, the Defiance bucked violently as missiles from Kralin cruisers slammed into the ship's hull. The lights flickered, and for a moment, it felt like the whole ship might tear apart. "Report." Ortega barked, gripping the armrest of his chair. "Shields down to 60%. "We can't take many more hits like that," Jenkins replied, her face grim. "We're outnumbered 10-1. Ortega clenched his jaw. They had faced worse odds before, but this felt different. The Kralin were evolving, becoming more ruthless and efficient. He could see it in their tactics. This wasn't just a raid, it was an extermination. They were testing the limits of humanity's best warship. "Hang in there, people," Ortega said, his voice cutting through the fear like steel. "We're not going down without a fight." Another barrage of missiles hit, and sparks flew from several consoles on the bridge. Smoke began to fill the air, but the crew remained focused. "Captain," Jenkins said, her voice calm despite the chaos. "Incoming transmission from the Kralin flagship." Ortega's lip curled into a snarl. "Put it through." An eerie silence fell over the bridge as the cold, alien voice echoed through the speakers. "Human warship, surrender, and you may." Ortega slammed his fist on the console, cutting the transmission. "Tell them our answer, Commander." Jenkins grinned despite herself. "Already sent, Captain." GFY, in Morse code. Chapter 3, The Defiance Rises. The Kralin fighters closed in, their strategy clear: overwhelm, then annihilate. But Ortega knew something they didn't: humanity's spirit wasn't so easily crushed. The Defiance was more than just a warship, it was a symbol of everything they'd fought for, everything they'd endured. "Rotate shield frequencies and engage evasive maneuvers," Ortega ordered. "We're not sitting ducks. Not today." Jenkins worked furiously at her console, rerouting power from non-essential systems to keep the shields up. "Captain, our portside defenses are failing. If we take another hit—" "We won't," Ortega interrupted, his voice hard as iron. "Gunnery, focus fire on their cruisers. Break their lines." The Defiance shuddered as its primary cannons fired once more, cutting through the Kralin fleet with brutal precision. The enemy ships began to splinter, their tight formations breaking apart as explosions rocked the battlefield. "We've got them, Captain," Jenkins shouted, her voice filled with adrenaline. "Their command ship is crippled." Ortega allowed himself a small smile. "Then let's finish the job." Chapter 4, Turning the Tide. The Defiance burst through the remains of the Kralin formation, its guns blazing. Ortega watched as enemy ships tried to regroup, but it was too late. The tide had turned. "Prepare boarding parties," Ortega ordered. "We're taking their flagship." Jenkins raised an eyebrow. "Boarding, sir? Isn't that a bit risky?" Ortega's grin widened. "Sometimes it's not about the tech or the tactics, Commander. It's about attitude." Jenkins smiled back. "That's the human way, Captain." The Defiance maneuvered closer to the Kralin flagship, and within minutes, the boarding teams were ready. Marines, equipped with cutting-edge armor and weapons, stormed the enemy vessel, quickly securing key systems. "Captain, we've taken their flagship," Jenkins reported, a hint of pride in her voice. Ortega leaned back in his chair, a sense of calm washing over him. "Good. Now, let's end this." Epilogue: A New Dawn. As the Kralin fleet retreated, the HMS Defiance limped back to Earth, battered but victorious. Ortega and his crew had done the impossible once again, proving that humanity's spirit was stronger than any alien armada. "Captain," Jenkins called out from her console, "we've received a transmission from HQ." "Put it through," Ortega said. Admiral Patel's face appeared on the screen, her expression one of awe and relief. "Captain Ortega, congratulations. Your bravery has earned humanity a crucial ally. The Zorvath have offered an alliance against the Kralin Empire." Ortega's heart raced. The tide was turning, and humanity was no longer alone in the fight.